everybody, and welcome to the touring car, the World Touring Car Challenge Championship actually got their WTCC. I am your commentator. That's me, Andy Pawley. I'm here for the duration of evening's festivities, which will take us up to about 11 o'clock tonight. Action-packed racing will be with us all the way through until roughly about 10:30, quarter to 11, depending on how the servers go and everything sorts itself out. Right, we've got 10 minutes left of this practice session left. So let's get down to business. And first of all, this is where we are tonight. There it is, WTCC, the World Touring Car Challenge. That's the World Touring Car Challenge. It's round 4. We're at the most Autodrome. Turn 1 is the one that's going to be the most difficult. They're all piling in. It's very much Monza style. Turns 6 and 7 and 8, very, very important to carry speed. And the final 2 turns, that's where good overtaking opportunities can be taken. Good slipstream through there, going into the turns 1 and 2. Track information, race room cost is £4.28 if you want to buy it on your own. We'll be bringing these now all the way through to the end of the season. So if you're thinking about joining Crest Autosport to join us in the touring cars, you know you want to, you're going to have to get yourself a little bit of money. Circuit was created in 1983. We're on the Grand Prix circuit, 2.6 miles. And the cars we're running tonight, they're all the beautiful, beautiful cars, but let's be honest, they're all great except the Lincoln Co, which is the best looking car. The one at the bottom, that cyan blue one, that's the best one. The rest are all rubbish, we don't care about them, and that's that. Right, let's get over to have a look at the Drivers' Championship as it currently stands. So Alex Everett's kindly leaving on 365 points. He has currently got maximum ballast on board. Benny Lawson is there currently in second, followed by Clough, by Flack, by Dearney. Is Ian in today? Yes, he is. He's down in 10th position. Then you've got Rostance drives the lovely, lovely coloured yellow DHL Audi. Lee Horn, don't forget, race winner. Stephen, Stu Neal is currently in 5th position. Perkis, Deeks, Dory, Tatara, actually learned his name this time. Alex Wood, Hans, don't forget that massive, exceptional battle last time out when we had Hans. Stephen, nose to tail and pip to the post. Stephen was on for his best ever finish, but it was in second picked at the last minute, and he finished 3rd. Then you've got Lee, Schneider, Hand, Portugal, Lopez. In the Cooper, comes back Gabriel Lopez. So Gabriel Lopez, he is getting faster and faster. Carl Smith, Boki, Butcher, Foster, Jaeger. And then Anthony was back last week, down in 26th. Andy Withers, absolute sensational drive last week out, but I don't think he's in this time. Nigel Stock, Diego, and right at the bottom is Elliot House, currently on 62 points. So that's how it stacks up in terms of the drivers. In terms of the teams, there you go. If you want to pause it, look yourselves out. AP Russo are currently leading that, and that's the Hyundai boys. So they are really wanting to maximise that point, and that's why they're also leading the manufacturers at 972 points. Pause yourself there if you want to read that. In terms of CA1, CA2 and CA3 category, they're all split depending on driver ability. They do carry ballast for this event. So as it stands, yeah, pause it, and there you go. Everett, Norton and Clough, top 3 in CA1. CA2, you've got Steve, Deeks and Hans. Those were the 2 that were fighting nose to tail last time out, so that's very important. And then CA3, you've got Lopez, Smith and Foster. So those are all going to be fighting each other out. And notice there is a Honda in there, which is quite rare. So, as it stacks itself up, let's bring up the information and put on the Auto Direct. We don't need that, but we do need that one. So it's all going to get very, very tasty in these next 5 minutes. Shaw's Yusa has come and joined us. He's currently fastest on the track at the top, 140.227. Do I think that's going to be the fastest time of the evening? No, I do not. The guys do carry barriers, do carry ballast in the opening. Race, race 1, and qualifying, it is championship ballast. So those from 1st to 10th all carry ballast, and they're in 4 kilogram denotion. So top of the tree, obvious Alex Everett, he will be having 40 kilograms on board. and then it goes all the way down. So it's going to be very, very tricky for them through the entire season. Right, let's have a little look. We are still trying to get some of the stuff up and working because, as you can understand, this is a live show. So it's going to get very, very exciting. It's going to be very, very tricky for the drivers tonight. And making sure they've got everything in. There's 24 drivers in at the moment. We're expecting around 28 with 4 minutes and 11 practice, 4 minutes and 8 seconds left of this practice section. So it's going to be very, very tricky. It's going to be very, very difficult, I think. So it's going to get, they're going to have to be careful. Turn 1 is turn 1 and 2 are the most important. Those are the ones where you can effectively end up completely taking the car out, and that's the problem. And that's what they're going to have to be very, very careful of, because if they go into turn 1 and they just pile into turn 1, it's going to result in basically a huge accident, and they're going to lose a load of places. So they can't just go piling into that corner. Now, here we are. Here's Alex Ward. Let's actually stick with Alex Ward through this sector. Let's ride onto the front view camera as we go into turns 1 and 2. This is turn 1, sharp left into basically a 90 right. And that's where all the cars will naturally concertina and bunch themselves up. There is 80 incident points, which means they do have that ability to have a little bit of nose and tail, a little bit of banging, shall we say. Please do not report me to that Facebook police. So it's going to get, it's going to be very, very exciting, I think, from that standpoint. We've got some people on the chat. The chat is now back up and operational, so please, there's always lots of you watching, there's always lots of you in the background, always saying what's happening, how's it going. Please check yourself out. Right, here's the race timings as it currently stands. So that's the set time for race 1. I will get to the chat. Race 2 is 15 minutes. Grid is based off qualifying results. It's about 20 past 9, depending on where we stand. Ballast is where it currently is. Let's take all those off. Ballast, like I said, is based on champions' positions, and that's for they take that for qualifying and race 1. Race 2, reverse the top 10 from the finishing positions of race 1, but ballast is reset, and it's then based off your qualifying times. Don't worry, I will take you through it. And race 3 is the top 15 reverse, basically, and that's around 10 past 10 tonight. So that's how it stacks up in terms of the timings. It does mean it's all a little bit hokey-pokey, a little bit fast as we go through. So that's going to make it exciting. Right, Sean Robinson's good evening, looking forward to some close racing. Nice to see you again, Sean. Nice to see you back on stream. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing, to be perfectly honest with you. So we'll see how it stacks itself up, I think. Through that second, I think how it stacks itself up in terms of that second sector, I think, and not second sector, that first sector. That's what's going to be key. I'm going to try and get my words out in the right order at this time of the day. So it's going to be very tricky, I think. It's going to be very. They're just going to have to be careful. They can't just go piling into the they can't just go piling into that corner and hoping they're going to get out of it, because I just don't think it's going to be possible. But you never know. You never know. Weirder things have happened, as they say. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens through that second sector, through that second phase, and also when the drivers are obviously chasing each other as well. And they're obviously trying to get ahead, I think would be the way I describe it. It's going to make it very, very difficult, I think, and it's going to make it interesting for that as well. Scoob Sim Racing, nice to see you again. Check out Scoob Sim Racing. I'm pretty sure you've got a live stream as well. I followed you before. So check that out as well. And Lloyd, nice to see you. Lloyd, nice to see you on stream. So yeah, it's going to be predictions all over. So obviously there's 2 seconds left of the practice session. So we're going to go into qualifying now. Don't forget, ballast is going to be based off We lost the timing screen. Let's go back to the timing screen. The ballast is based off the top. Is going to now be based off their championship positions. So Alex is going to be carrying 40 kilograms on board. And you think, does it make a big difference to how the car performs? Yes, it does. They're going to run. So the Shores is going to be the first out on track. So we'll keep with the Shores for now as we get ready for that opening practice. Perkis, Dini, Rostance, and Neil are out. Neil was fastest in the opening practice for around the first 40 minutes, and then he kind of slowed down. Now we're going to stay with Shores with his 15-minute open qualifying session, so they're all going to be tussling each other for position. They're all going to have to carry enough fuel to get them to the, basically get them out the pits, get round the track and do a lap. If it was me, I'd probably be carrying 2 laps of fuel on board, maybe 3. The weight is a massive difference here. It does make a huge amount of difference towards your your times. So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it stacks up. We're going to stay with Shores on this because he's the first driver out on the road. We will keep the suggestions on board, and that'll give us an idea of who's going fastest in the different sectors. 139.9 is what I'd actually expect to see. Somewhere around a 139.5 is a good time. But it's all going to come down to how much fuel they've got on board, and that will be key. They want to get out front, and they want to lose. They basically just want to get down the road as quickly as possible and try and get there, try and be the first one across the line. Now the only drivers that aren't out are Tartara, Portugal and Deeks. Everyone else is now out on the road, and they're all going to be in a massive, basically, queue. This is the final corner as we come down. There's a penultimate corner, final corner. Good drive off here. Let's stick with Shores. Let's ride on board with him now. Here he is. Let's bring up that lap data so we can see how's he getting on. What's he going to be able to do? There he is. First time out with us on this season. There he is. He's into 5th. He's going to be building up that speed. Watch that sector 1 time. He will be purple. No one else is quicker as yet. That's their first turn 1, turn 2. You hit those sausage curves, you break the suspension. Then you come up, you drive up. It's a little bit of a crest of a hill. Little right, little left here. Keep it going. Keep that RPMs up. He's into 4th. Does he go into 5th? There's sector 1, 25. Does he do any better? Down the gearbox into 4th, into 3rd. You hit that curve, you'll launch the car into the stratosphere, but he's kept it on the road. So a lot of left-rights through here, a lot of chicanes into what's technically the hairpin at the back of the circuit, but it really isn't. They're riding from the rear camera now. You can see he's gaining. Sector 1 time, so 140 lap. 46.850. Nobody's faster than in this current time. Rostance is showing up on the board. Predicted 1.91. Perkis is 1.87, and that's basically the roughly the times they're saying. Sector 2 time goes through. Does he go any faster? Is he going to build up any speed? We'll keep an eye on him. It's 12:03 left. We're staying with Shores for this opening qualifying lap. Then we'll see how the board is stacking up. He will be the first driver. Sector 2, 114. Nobody's faster than him. Nobody's even in the same postcode at the moment. Big accidents can happen here as well. High braking zone. Cars think they can go around the outside into the penultimate corner, but a lot of them can't. You have to get into line. As we come now down to the front, does he cross the line? He will be provisional pole sitter because there's no one else crossing the line in front of him. He needs a 130 really. 140.67. He's not going any faster. Rostance, what can Rostance do? Does he go fastest? No, he does not. Stephen, he's looked like he's on the board. Next Gen Racing Boy, he puts himself in 3rd. Perkis goes 4th. They're all coming up on the board. Jane Dory is 1 point. Yeah, he's not going any faster. No one's any really going any faster. Benny Norton's starting to go up the board. He's on his opening flying lap. We're keeping an eye on the board as they come in. Perkis is down to 6th. Then we have, can't even see the board now. Come on, board. And then we've got Anastasios. He's down there. Cloughy's put himself into 3rd position. Rostance is in 6th. Stevens in 7th. Perkis is now 8th. Anastasios is now 9th. Flack is 10th. Ian Deeney is in 11th. And you've got Alex Ward. And then the rest of the field has yet to set a time. Shores is going fastest. He's going even faster. Stu Neal hasn't set a lap time yet. Let's get on board with Neal, see what he can do. Purple in sector 1. 1/10 of a second faster than the current fastest man. That's Shores with a 140.638. Do I think it's going to be good enough? No, I don't. Lopez has popped himself into 15th behind Paul Hans at the moment. There he is. He's in 14th. We're keeping an eye on this man here because he's showing up on the board as purple and purple. He has already had a pole position this season. Did he convert it? No, he did not. That's the problem Stu Neal's got to get. If he puts it on pole, he's just got to scarper away into the distance, into the final corner we go. Can he keep it nice and tidy? Can he keep it on the tarmac? Yes, he can. Riding on board with him now. What does he do? Watch that. He's 1/10 up. He'll go 140.4. 140.4 as if just makes no difference. Shaw's did go faster. Shaw's went faster. Alex Ward is now going a bit faster. He's green and green on the board, 3/10. If he keeps going, that should put him ahead of Vlad into 3rd position. Can he do it? What does he do? 0.5 of a second. Into 6th he goes. He's behind Rostance at the moment. Carl Smith has put himself into 18th. Schneider is now into 15th. Everett's going a bit faster. 6/10 on the board. Yeah, it's not going to make much difference. He's got 40 kilograms on board, don't forget. That's going to put him current rate. He should go somewhere between about 6th position. I think at the moment is where he's going to pop in. No one's really going faster. Yeah, he go about 6th. Into 6th he goes. Paul Hans has actually got some speed up here. He's 1.5. So he'll improve to around 12th to 13th if he can connect those laps. He lost a lot of time in that final sector. What's Vlad up to? There he is in the Lincoln Go, best looking car on the field. You'll hear me say that multiple times because it is the best looking car on the field. 8 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Then we go into the opening race. At the moment, Stu Neal has got provisional pole position behind Shaw's. No ballast on board Shaw's, don't forget. Then you've got Vlad in 3rd, 4.856. That's who we're watching now. 0.2 of a second up. He's still 0.2 of a second as Mears makes no difference in that sector. The key here is he has to maintain that into the final 2 corners. Can he do this? We're not in the final 2 corners yet, but we're nearly there. Now we're into the final 2 corners, riding down onto that camera view. What can he do here? He's 0.2 of a second up. If he can maintain this, he'll put himself into 3rd. What does he do? Pops it across the line now. Where does he go? That should be good enough for 3rd. Boom, there he is. 0.2 of a second up. In the back, Flax down to 13th as it currently stands because Stephen has popped himself into 12th. So he's actually moved up on the board. Lee Horn is going a bit faster. Purple in that final sector. First on sector. Whoa, look at that. 114. He made 0.2 of a second up in that final sector. Shame he didn't do so well in the 1st and 2nd sector. Cloughy's now into 5th and Schneider's got a bit faster. Stu Neal has come up as provisional pole position as it currently stands, 140.386. Right. Portugal, he's going faster. 7/10. Yeah, I don't think he's going to do. Rostance looks like he's on an improved lap. Everybody's improving their laps at the moment. Paul Hans is up to 15th. Portugal puts him into 133. That should put him into 11th. That's a fantastic effort. Fantastic effort. Vlad is going faster as well. He's 1/100th of a second off in sector 1. The problem with this car is the Lincoln Co. It's a heavy, heavy machine. As we ride on board with him now, Clough has abandoned his. Remember, it's a 140 lap. Lopez and Carl Smith are both in the pit. Beloved, Norton and Butcher are not on the board as it currently stands. So there's 3 drivers who have to actually go out and set a lap time. He's up. Vlad is up in that sector. He's actually up. Can he do this? Can he convert this now? Or will the commentator curse him in the penultimate corners? He's got 1 corner to go and now it's just into as fast as you can go, as quick as you can go. Does he get a 139? Does he get a 140? Fantastic! He got a 140.3. He's gone faster again. Brilliant stuff. All done in those final 2 sectors. So there's still speed in that car. Jamie Dorey, he's improving on his lap times as well. He's down in 11th position. Don't forget, we had a open with him last time out. Plus, he's a race winner, which is what he's looking for. Can he convert this now? Can he put himself on pole position? That little Alfa Romeo isn't going to be the strongest here. It's going to be the Lincoln Co, I believe. Puts himself into 6th position. Bokey, he's going a bit faster as well. He's down in 21st. He should improve into 16th. Brilliant stuff. Right, Justin Wellbeloved has done well before here. I've commentated on him in another race series, and he was driving the Lincoln Co as well. So he has got the ability. He has put himself in. Now, one of the things that I know this man can do very, very well, and that's the launch off the line. That's building up the RPMs and getting away just on the perfect timings. Now, he's not on the board yet. That's why he's not showing up as an indent on the left side, because he hasn't set a race time yet. So he's going to have to think about this. He's going to have to put something on the board. He really needs a 46 point, needs to be in the 46s if he's got any chance of being in the top, basically from Cloughy to Vlad. So from first and 8th, he's going to have to get himself in a 46 in that first sector. He's in the 47s now. So he's down. At the moment, he's in the middle of the field. Jamie Dorr is going faster, so is Benny and Paul Hand. So they're all up on the board, so just keep an eye on him as we can see what Justin can do in this second sector. And then we will cut across, because Jamie Dorry is going faster. Right, we'll go to Jamie Dorry. So he's gone purple in sector 1. Sector 2, he's 1/10 of a second off. That's why he's green. He's faster than his personal best, but he's not faster than anyone else. Than Vlad. It's this final sector that he's mighty. It's the final sector where he's got that ability to absolutely extract the maximum out of the four wheels in this little Alfa Romeo. Can he do anything? Can he convert this? What does he do? 5/10, he lost it all in the final sector. We ride on board and it all goes south. What can Poddy do? Poddy is currently all the way down in 17th position in the Hyundai. He's not feeling very well tonight, unfortunately. He's got some illness. So that's going to cost him lap time. And the answer to that is yes. Yes, it will. He's 0.6 of a second off. His midriff makes the difference. He's a second off pace. But again, don't forget there is ballast on board this car. And as a result, that is always going to affect the ability of the drivers to get the maximum that they need from the car. So, yeah, it's going to be tricky, I think. It's going to be very, very tricky to see where they all end up and where we get to, basically, because Poddy's got 28 kilograms on board that car. Stu Neal, yeah, he's going to push it at the moment. Vlad currently doesn't have a currently highest qualifying position, is 6th. So at the moment, Vlad is looking into for his season best open qualifying. Alex Ward is going a bit faster. 2/10 and 5/10. He's looking to improve. What can he do from here? 2 penultimate corners now. It's 2 minutes 49 seconds remaining. So if you're not on track on a lap, you're pretty much not going to get another go. So Schneider popped himself into 5th amongst all the melee, but yeah, he's abandoned and he's not going to go any faster. Vlad's given up. Effectively, he's not going to go any faster than that. What can Craig Deeks do? This time of speed will put himself into 14th or 15th position. It's in an improvement. He did start at the top end of the grid in race 3 last time out, but he just couldn't convert it. There was no conversion, and as a result, he just didn't do it. 136, yeah, pops himself into 17th. Neil's out on track now. This is it. He's run wide. He's run wide. He just has to keep going because he needs to cross the line with 1 minute 41 seconds. That's the key. If he can do that, he can then get a chance at one more hot lap, 1 lap to go. He's on 2:12. Yeah, I think this is it. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything here. I don't think he's actually going to be able to get anything. He's got 3 seconds to go. It's do or die. No, it's abandoned. The lap's abandoned. That is it. He's done. He's lost that position. Where's Shores? Shores is going faster. He's on one last bonsai attempt to the line. He's up 0.06 of a second on Vlad, who's currently first at 140.319. These two were both fighting for their first ever this season opportunity to take pole position in the Crest Autosport WTCC League. So they're both out for his 2/10 up. He's not going to do it unless he pulls a rabbit out of a hat here in the final couple of sectors. I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I just don't think it. He's fast in that Cupra, but he's not fast enough. We won 90% balance of power. He's abandoned it. He's abandoned it. Where's Carl Smith? Currently at the back, 24th position. It takes all sorts to run around. Butcher in all of this got himself up to 16th. He was out last time. He did have a high finish. Butcher did. So I think he finished 3rd, didn't he? Someone might come up on here and correct me. I'm pretty sure he finished 3rd. Did he finish 3rd? Probably. But he goes faster and he gets himself into 24th. So as it currently stands, Dory's out. He's in the pits. Cloughy's out. here, realistically, unless he magically manages to extract something out of that car. No, he's just going round. Perkis is still out. Not really talked about Perkis. He was with his old mate Andy Withers last time out. Those two were absolutely nose to tail. He does improve. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he improves into 13th from 17th, so he goes a bit faster. Butcher's still out, but he's not going to get anything from there, really. And then Hans and Well Beloved are all down there. So there it is. Vlad is your pole position sitter. So a new pole position sitter for this time out. But can he convert it? That's what's important. Stu Neal is in second. Lee Horn is in third. Shaw's is in fourth. Then you've got Schneider and the rest of them. So someone will probably tell me. Then you've got Schneider, Dory, Rostance, Clough, Everett, Deeney, Norton, Ward. Perkis is then from there. Come on, system. Then you've got Perkis in 13th, Portugal's in 14th. Anastasios is in 15th, Poddy is in 16th, Butcher 17th, Stevens in 18th, Deeks in 19th, Paul Hans is 20th, Bokey's 21st, Justin's 22nd, Lopez is 23rd, and Carl Smith is 24th. And that's how it stacks up. There's a 5-minute warm-up session coming across. Right, hello everybody, and welcome to the commentary booth. I'm back. I will be here for your entire race event this evening. So we've got 4 minutes 15 left of this opening to the warm-up in order to get race 1. So get yourselves on chat. I can see there's quite a lot of you watching. Get yourself on chat. Get yourself in the comments. Please keep it civil. We are a child-friendly audience, even if I don't look child-friendly. And my nose is itching. There we go. So the guys will be carrying ballast now. So it's championship ballast for qualifying and race 1. And that's the top 10, and they carry from 40 kilograms to 4, and it's on increments of 4 kilograms all the way down. Race 2 is a reverse grid, top 10 reversed from the finishing positions of race 1, but the ballast, again top 10, is applied based on where you finished in qualifying, which means Vlad will be carrying the maximum 40 kilograms, and Stu Neal will have 36. And Lee Horn will then have 32. Someone will probably do my maths for me in a minute. And then we go to race 3, which is then a 15 reverse grid of race 2. But again, the ballast is championship ballast. So it makes it all very exciting. The ballast does affect the car. It does affect the way the car operates. It does affect the way the car performs. Just keep an eye on the commentary box. A lot of these guys don't like to come into the commentary box until post-race, just because that's just the way they are. They're very serious, and they don't want to talk to me talking rubbish. Stu Neal here is in an option position. Stu Neal has been in pole position before, but he couldn't convert that. So, yeah, he's just going to have to be very, very careful now. He's actually out there with his old buddy. I think that's Michael Clough just ahead of him. So these two, they're all kind of working together. So Cloughy, Norton, Poddy, and Neal are all kind of working together in the Hyundais. Now, the problem is Benny Norton's in 11th and Flax is in 16th, and Neal's in 2nd and Clough is 8th. So they're all spread across the field. So they're not really going to be able to help each other from this. So it's going to be very, very tricky. Just going over the chat, like the Volvo and Vectra pictures. Oh, the famous blind. Yeah, well, for those of you that have followed me on many occasions, this is the famous blind. I doubt it will ever get replaced. It's fantastic. And yeah, these are signed touring car pictures. The best one, this one's okay. The best one's the Volvo. That's the best picture. But yeah, thank you very much for the comments. Yeah, that blind will never go. And if it does go, I've probably ruined it, to be perfectly honest. Right, with 1 minute 39 remaining, let's go across back to the main stream. So, yeah, it's just going to be very, very exciting. Again, as always, this is the first time we've put chat in. There's Vlad. Nice to see you, Vlad. Good luck, everyone. Guys, absolutely cracking pole there, Vlad. That was absolutely sensational that you've pulled that out. First time on pole as well. So good luck. Watch out for the fast-moving Stu Neal. Get through corners 1 and 2. This is the key. Corners 1 and 2 is where it's going to be won or lost, I think. Hopefully they'll all get through, but this is touring car. And, well, it's touring car, so sometimes, you know, there is some paint that is exchanged, which is exciting. Right, if you're just joining us, that's me. I'm Andy Pawley. Boom, that's me. I'm your commentator for this entire race evening. We are at, that's where we are, round 4 at the Most Autodrome. They're all the cars. They're all very nice, but the best one's the Lynk & Co. And that's it. They do work all differently, but the Lynk & Co is the best car. And there it is. It's £4.25 on race rooms. If you're thinking about joining it, please do. It's cracking. We do run open setups here, but all the guys are super helpful with getting your car set up and helping you get a good base setup, basically. It does make a difference on basically being able to get around the track faster than anybody else. But they're all great. I mean, setups are always very, very scary. People go, they're setups. How do we set the car up? How should we do it? So yeah, it's basically like that. I'm not quite sure why the standings box has had a complete meltdown, but it's had a meltdown basically because no one's actually completed a lap or is disallowed. So yeah, we'll find out. Chanced upon this and found out a sim racing rival for 15 years back is in here. Best of luck, Stephen. Fantastic. Fantastic. We all know who Alexander is going to be voting for here, so that's going to be very exciting. We know who his man is tonight. And Sean Robinson saying because it's the Chinese Volvo. Well, yes, it is the Chinese Volvo. 100% it's the Chinese Volvo. And it's a great car. I love it. It's a fantastic car. So it is what it is, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, that's the timings for tonight as the guys ready themselves up. Set's great for Wid Run. We're race 1, it's 15 minutes, and the qualifying, it's based off, the grid is based on qualifying results. 2020, we're a couple of minutes behind schedule, but we're okay. And I'll be here through the entire of the evening. So please get yourself involved in the chat. Please keep it clean. And we will see how it goes. Right, here we go. The lights are out. You'll see the 15 flashing lights. Then it'll be lights away. The guy at the front, can he get away? Can that Lynk & Co. of Vlad, can he turn this, convert this into race winning? And it's away we go. Penalty for Justin already. He's got to have to take a drive through. Cannot believe it. Stu Neal is close, side by side. All 24 cars pile themselves into the first corner. Stu Neal's up the inside. He outbrakes himself. Does he get the car stopped? Yes, he does. He goes into pole position. It's happened already. Vlad's into second in the background. They're all bellying. There's an absolutely massive accident in the background. They've all gone off. They're all scrabbling. Craig Deeks, they've all crashed. Cannot believe it. That's what I said. It's going to be absolutely vital. But back to the lead. Stu Neal hasn't given it up. Stu Neal is the second car in the row. Boom, Hyundai. Behind that, Vlad is now back in pole. Here he is leading the race into the first opening half lap. He's got 14 minutes to go. Absolute pressure as they all file themselves 2 by 2, 1 by 1 into that corner. What can they do from here? Portugal, track limit abuse as we go down now, riding on board from the front camera of Neal. Down the gearbox he goes. Whoa, look at the slide of the car in front. He's so close he can read it. Riding on board in first and keeping an eye on the ball. Shaw's leaving this battle. Shaw's is side by side with Schneider. Schneider's in the 82. There he is. He's gone. He's let Shaw's through. There is Shaw's. He's in fourth position. It's where he started. Now he's got to make his way back up the lead. What can he do? Is there any chance here? Riding on board with him now. He's in fourth. There is third, second and first. He can sniff the victory like he can sniff a Big Mac 10 miles away. What can he do here? Down the gearbox through the right side. Has he been able to do it? Alex Everett carrying 40 kilograms on board this car. Sorry, there is Cloughy, there is Everett. He's in 8th position. There is 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th and 13th. Coming down to complete lap 1 of this 15-minute race. Can he do anything? It's all going to be building up the speed now, building up that ability to overtake and get the next position. Alex Ward and Vokey are side by side, but I am keeping an eye on the board because Cloughy's going to go for Dory into the first corner. Does he get the done? No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Oh, they're side by side. Has he done it? Oh, Dory's going to slow down penalty. Dory is in 6th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There he is. He's in the number 69. And you can see Everett flashing his lights at Cloughy, but Cloughy's going, I'm not coming through. You're going to have to fight me if you want this position. He's not giving it up. There is Alex Everett. He's in the number 11. Cyan Volvo. They're all fighting. Shaw's is going for a move on Horn into the corner. Does he do it? And his old buddy, I don't think he is, but Schneider's gone through. Vlad at the front is causing the roadblock. They are side by side. Horner and Schneider. Horner's in the 69 Alfa Romeo. That white car, left side. That is Schneider. This is Schneider. Can he do it? Oh, they're side by side. one room. No, he doesn't. Schneider's had to tap the brakes, and that's put him right in the clutches of Dory. There's Dory's on the right side. Jamie in the 69. Can he go round? No, he can. And Cloughy in the Hyundai. There he is. There's Cloughy in the Hyundai. He's in 7th. Car in front. That is 6th. The car in front. That is 5th. No, it's 4th. Brilliant stuff. Can he do anything here? Can he maximise this ability? I don't know. But at the back, they're all kind of, Bokey and Ward at the back are holding each other up, but we're keeping an eye on this board because there's Deeney. He's in the 69. Right side, he's got Alex Everett, who's got 40 kilograms on board, and right behind that is Rostance. Bright yellow DHL Audi. Absolutely cracking car. Behind him, Perkis, our old mate Perkis. There he is, riding on board with Perkis. Schneider and Deeney are side by side. Can he do anything? Can he go from here? Here is Dory, he's in 11th. Oh, sorry, that's not Dory, that's Perkis. It is Dory, because there's Schneider in the 82. It is Alfa Romeo versus Hyundai. In the background, they're all trying to sort themselves out. Perkis is side by side with Norton behind him, Rostance ahead of him. And they're all holding each other up, but Vlad and Neil have gotten themselves a bit further. Shaw's is into 3rd, so I'm keeping an eye on that balance at the front. But this is where the battle is. It's down in 10th, 11th and 12th position. In 11th, there's Perkis behind him. Clough is now on the back of Schneider. Keeping an eye on that as it unfolds. Here is Rostance, he's in 10th position. Behind that, there is Rostance. No, we're with Rostance. Behind that is the Alfa Romeo Perkis. And behind that is Norton. And then Butcher has got himself up to 13th position. But Neil is now right on the rear quarter of Vlad. There's Vlad. And look at that Lincoln Co. The car in front is in ballast. It's in ballast. It doesn't mean it's in ballast. It's got no ballast. Whereas this man here, he's got lots of ballast. And that's really starting to hamper him. And right behind him, there is Shaw's. He wants a race victory. First time racing, I believe, this season with Crest Motorsport. So he's going to see what he can do there. It's just not, he's just gone defensive. He's gone defensive too early. That's going to compromise it. We'll keep an eye on that. But Ian Deeney, back to the battle with Ian Deeney and Rostance. Alfa Romeo versus bright yellow DHL Audi. There it is, number 17. You can't say you missed that in a car park. Fantastic stuff. Into the penultimate corner. What can he do? Can he deliver anything here? He's going to have to turn it up to 11. Butcher is attacking Norton, but we're keeping an eye on that in the background. Norton's got ballast on board. Walkie's going after Ward as well. That's 18th and 19th, 12th and 13th. But we're currently on board with Rostance. Can he do anything? Here's Deeney on board with Deeney. Has he been able to do it? He's got a bit wide there. He's gone over the curbs. Can he keep the car on the straight and narrow? All 4 wheels are pointing in the right direction. But the problem is, the problem they've now got there, that number 5, that is Michael Clough. Behind him is Alex Everett. Behind him, Ian Deeney. And they're all now dragging each other towards each other. That's the problem. That's what they're going to have now. We leave this battle and rejoin the battle for the other DHL BM Audi. It's not an Audi, it's a BMW. They're both German. This is the number 32. That is Alex Ward. Behind him is Bokey. There he is, 25, Alfa Romeo. What can he do from here? What can he extract from this, riding on the front view camera? He was so close, he just switched to the left. Carl Smith, slow down penalty. He's in 21st. They're side by side going up. I think he's let him go. Yeah, he's let him go. Yeah, Alex Ward, I think, thought better of that. Yeah, he's thought better of it. I think lots of slow down. He's got a slow down penalty, that's why. Right, we leave that battle and rejoin the Stu Neal battle. This is the battle for second, for bronze position. Shaw's there, so there's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th on his own, 6th, 7th and 8th from the rest of the field. We can all count. The question is, can he do anything from here? Because Stu Neal now, riding on board with Stu Neal, has Shaw's absolutely over his rear bumper. Look at him, he's going to be building up the RPM. He's going to be into 3rd, into 4th, he go to 5th. If he had 6th and 7th, he's got 6th. He might even go to 7th, but he doesn't have it. Down the gearbox we're going to go. He's trying to sell him the dummy. They're going to be going down 5th, 4th, 3rd, into 2nd, holds it nice and tidy. They're Concertina up again, but the Lincoln Co. in sector 2, that number 12 of Vlad, that's where he's got that supreme traction. And you'll see it as he goes through these sequences of corners. We ride on board now. There is Stu Neal. Stu's going to have to try and send him a dummy. He's going to have to hope this man's tyres completely give up, completely decide to go for a picnic on their own. That's going to be the problem. That's what's going to really hurt him here, because as we enter through the final ender of sector of Sector 1, this is where the Lincoln Co just takes it up a notch, and that's the problem that Stu Neal has, because really he's only got an overtaking opportunity to turn 1 unless Vlad, who's at the front, there he is, in the number 12 Lincoln Co, makes a mistake. But he's keeping all 4 wheels pointing on the road, all in the right direction. That's the key. That's what's keeping him nice and tidy. Right, Stephen and Boki are side by side. I think Boki's trying to fight him. Stephen's in the number 68. Can he do anything from here? This is the battle for 17th, 18th, 19th and 20th. There's Gabriel Lopez. He's currently leading CA3, don't forget. So he's got to be careful who he's fighting. Is he fighting Alex, the man in the 32? Of course he is. So he's not going to let him pass. He's not just going to send him a meal ticket. He's just going to have to say, if you're coming, you're going to have to commit to this maneuver. But he's holding people up. But it doesn't matter, because he's entitled us in that race position, and because of that, Alex Ward's now got Boki. Boki's in the 25, Alfa Romeo, that white and red car. And has he done it? Yes, he has. No, he has. Ooh, he's got to slide on into the final corner. Fantastic. And there is Stephen sticking his nose in as well, saying, I'm coming, I'm coming. There he is, Stephen. Carl Smith and Anastasios down in 21st and 22nd. But look at Stephen. He's turned it up to 11. That Lincoln Co now. He's up the inside into turn 1. He's going to have to be later on the brakes. Gets the car stopped, gets it rotated. But he'll be on the outside and he'll just get pushed wide out there. Oh, so close. They've managed to keep it together. Fantastic stuff. 2 by 2. I'm keeping an eye on Perkis, and I'm keeping an eye on the lead battle as well as that develops. But this is where it is at the moment. They are nose to tail. Right. Gabriel Lopez, there he is in the 79. He has now had a little bit of relieving pressure because Boki and Stephen are going to hold each other up. Right, we leave this battle and rejoin the battle for the lead. So Shaw's has been making progress. He's about 0.04 of a second faster overall than the man in front of him. And he has actually currently got a 1:44.56 compared to everybody else. Right, while they squabble it out, let's go to Perkis. Perkis is down in 11th position. Behind him in 12th position is Benny Norton, and these two have been absolutely nose to tail. Gabriel and Boki aside. Boki's managed to get the job done. Right, Vlad and Stu Neal. This is it. This is Stu's opportunity. Has he been saving his tyres? Has this man here in second position, has he been saving his tyres? Right, he's gone defensive immediately. He's gone defensive. Can he do anything? There's the Hyundai. He's coming. He's coming. He's gone for it. He's engaged hyperdrive. Question is, Vlad's been a very old fox there. He's put the car right in the middle of the road. That is very vindictive of a very good defensive driver. He said, well, I'm just going to put it in the middle of the road, and then you're going to sit there. There's a little bit of a tap at the back, but but he'll still be up the inside. But he's got Shaw's right behind him in the 79, and right behind that's Lee Horn. We are watching Butcher and Lopez and Stephen are still fighting in the background for 18th and 19th, but this is the battle for the lead. So Stu Neal takes the lead with 4 minutes and 12 seconds to go. Do I think it's going to be enough? I don't know. Can he convert the second to a win? That's the problem. Now what he needs is Vlad to hold up Shaw's, because Shaw's is currently in third position in the 79. Rob Huff, 1, 2, 3, third car, boom. There he is, that white Seat Lupron. It's 4 different manufacturers versus 3 different nationalities. It's going to be absolutely epic as we get to the final 4 minutes. There's 3 minutes 42 to go. Brilliant. Who's going to be the winner? Who is going to take the lead? Who is going to be victorious? Shaw's goal now has to get past Vlad. He needs to get this done in the next lap. Otherwise, Stu Neal is going to win. And that's how the numbers stack up. Riding on board now with Shaw's. He's got to get it done. He's got literally about a lap. It's a 1:40 lap. And at the moment, the data is estimating that they've got 1.97 laps, so it's 2 laps, including this one, basically. It's a 1:40, so that's 2:08. Yeah, it's this lap. Otherwise, yeah, it's game over. It's game over. Right, Gabriel is right on the back of Stephen. There's 18th and 19th. Has he done it? Oh, he gets the car stopped, but not enough to get rotated past it. Has he done it? Has he been able to deliver this? Has he been able to extract the maximum out of the car? Come on, Gabriel. You can do it. I don't know. I don't know if he can do it from here, but Alex Ward and Carl Smith down in 20th and 21st. There was that opening incident on the opening lap of the first corner, and that's what I was saying. That's where you've got to be careful. You have to be careful for that opening sector because it will cost you. But Gabriel is now, it's contact, and again I think he tries to go up the inside. Shaw's, well to Shaw's. I don't know if he's gone off or he's had an issue. Yeah, but he's gone off because he's not on the road. He's down in 15th position. He needs to get himself 5 positions, so it's going to be tough in the last lap and a half. But that's now released Lee Horn into 3rd position. That will have given Stu Neal the win. Stu Neal now just has to bring the car home, and he's won, basically. That's all he has to do. He's in a race-winning position in 1st place. This is Lee Horn. He is now fighting Vlad, who's in 2nd. Don't forget, Vlad was in pole position as we opened this race. But then, unfortunately, he got himself overtaken by Neil. He then took it back, and then Neil overtook him again. So he's all the way down now in 2nd, which is not far. Right. Clough and Schneider are side by side. This is 6th and 5th. So in 5th is Remo Schneider. He's going to get, he's going to get wide. He's the 82 Schneider. Clough is the other Hyundai. He's the one on the right side of your screen that will suddenly be the left side of your screen. And he should get this done. It's going to be a straight drag race down. But look at Alex Everett. He's joining in the background. Perkis is on the back of Rostans. And Butcher is on the back of Norton. We're keeping an eye on that. Clough got the job done. Schneider's closed that door. Schneider's gone to the outside. That's going to leave the door wide. He's gone wide. He's had an accident by himself. And as a result, that's going to allow Alex Everett to just go up the inside. Yeah, and that's the job done. Ciandini also get through this. One of them's going to have to give it up. One of them's going to have to be a late breaker. Yeah, side by side, 2 by 2. Schneider's still fighting it. He's like, I'm taking all the bit of track. I'm taking everything. If you're going to stick it up there, I'm after it. 2 by 2. Have they got it done? No, they haven't. Schneider's got to track down, but he's got to slow down penalty. He's got to slow down penalty. He's going to have to get rid of that. Otherwise, it's going to be game over. It's going to be Curtis across the line. So he's going to have to think about that. He's still not giving it up. He's trying to hold on. He's pushed Lee out. He pushed him out into that corner, and he's lost 1-2 positions there. Schneider is going to get rid of it. There's Rostans. He's gone past everybody. Schneider is holding on to 8th as best as he can. What can he do here? Behind him is Perkis and Norton. There's Norton, who's decided to join the party. Butcher's down in 12th. We've lost Justin and Craig Deeks, but they're all now trying to squabble because they're all trying to get into that top 10 position. Because do not forget, top 10 is reversed. So if you finish top 10 in race 1, you start on pole position in race 2. That's Deeney's gone off the road. That's him down. That's him out. But Norton will take the pole position. Failing any issues, he'll take pole position. Stu Neal takes the race victory as he crosses the line. I think he's crossed the line. Are they still racing? No, he's crossed the line. He has finished. Vlad takes 2nd, so Stu Neal takes his first race victory of the season. Absolutely fantastic for Stu Neal. Vlad started in pole, takes 2nd, and again, I think that is his highest placed finish this season. Which is absolutely sensational for him, and it's the best looking car. So, in my point, you get the commentators' vote there. Lee comes home in 3rd, Jamie Dorey is 4th, Clough is 5th, Everett is 6th, Rostans is 7th, as we watch Anastasios come home. I think that's right, in 22nd. So they'll wait to cross the line, and there is confirmation of your results. And as you can see there, your race winner is Stu Neal, but fastest lap goes to Vlad. So Vlad was the fastest of all the drivers. Then you've got Lee, Jamie, Michael in 5th, Everett 6th, Rostans is 7th, 8th Schneider, Perkis is 9th, Norton, Butcher, Deeney, Portugal, Hans, Shaw's finished all the way down in 15th in the end, Poddy Flack is 16th, Bokey is 17th, Stevens 18th, Gabriel is 19th, Ward is 20th, Smith is 21st, Anastasios is 22nd, Well Beloved is 23rd, and Deeks is 24th. And that's how it stacks up for the race. So it stacks up for the race. And that's race 1. Over and done with. Absolutely sensational. Absolutely nose to tail classic touring car as you would expect. Right, so they're going to reset the servers, which means we're going to go over to our second race. There's nobody in the com box, and like I said, they tend not to pop into the com box until generally after the race is over because they're all busy concentrating. So as it stands at the moment, that's where we are. We've done race 1 and we will be going to race 2. It says 2150. We are, yes, about 2150. And the top 10 will be reversed, which means that your pole position sitter, failing anything that I've missed, your pole position sitter will be Norton. Then second is Perkis. A perfect opportunity here for Perkis to take a race victory. Schneider's in third, Rostance will be fourth, Everett will be fifth, Clough will be sixth, Dory will be seventh, Horn will be eighth, Vlad will be ninth, and Stu Neal will be 11th, and they will be carrying maximum ballast, and that's what's going to be the problem here. That's what's probably going to trip them up. They're going to be basically in the melee. But what they want to do really now is finish roughly around 10th, or I'd probably finish 12th, and then in race 3 play that tactical advantage of being back at the front again. So you only really lose one race and one set of points. But again, I am I'm not racing because I can't race, basically. Right, let's see if they've reset the server, and then we will go back to the game. Oh, and I've had a full-on shutdown. Isn't that nice? So my race room has decided to completely crash. Yep, so we're going to have to boot race room up again. So I'll go across to me. Hello, everybody. As always, it's a live show, and as it's a live show, it's okay because I've got a couple of minutes to go back in, because what they do is they end up resetting the servers anyway. So as it loads up, we will then jump back in. So if you're thinking of joining us, please find us on Discord. Great set of guys, absolutely, and women, and people who don't identify as either. I have to say that. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it's open setups and it's 90% balance of power. So if you've played Race Room a lot, what you notice is that the Cooper effectively is one of the greatest cars that they've made. It's got the best brakes, it's got the best turning. It lacks a bit of speed, but it's really good at carrying ballast. So a lot of the drivers in competitions always tend to use that car, predominantly because it is the best one out there. But by using the balance of power, it's absolutely brought everything back together, which makes it fantastic, close, fantastic racing, which is brilliant. Again, I am keeping on the chat. I can see loads, and there is quite a lot of you watching. Again, just say hi. And if you've got any questions, pop them in, and I will answer them as best as I can. Please do stick around till right at the end, because there's normally some drivers' interviews in there as well. All the drivers are loading themselves in now. As we hold up. So, just to recap, that's where we are. It's the World Touring Car Challenge, which is round 4. This is race 2. The cars we can drive, the Alfa Romeo, Audi, the Cupra, the Honda, and not a lot of people drive the Honda. It's a very, very tricky car to drive and to extract the maximum out of that car. And the Lincoln Co., which is the best car. It's always the best car. It just is. And there we are, Autodrome Most Grand Prix circuit. And again, I won't cover the cost again, but if you're thinking of joining us, please check it out. It's always best to buy when they do a discount, which is usually quite often. And that's how I would purchase the game as it currently stands. We're just going to check if there's anybody interviews. Yeah, Butcher's in the interview, right? So let's go across to the interviews and let's pick up Russ Butcher. Russ, can you hear me? Don't know if he can hear me. Maybe he's going. No. As I said, these are all live, and because they're live, you can never hear anything. Can you hear me, Russ? I'm not quite sure if Russ knows if he's in there or not. But he's in there waiting for an interview. So if he pops up, then obviously we'll talk to him with the couple of minutes that we're there. See, it's up there. It's up there. It's up there. So if he does pop in and want to chat, then obviously we'll have a conversation with him. Otherwise, we'll go back to the normal stuff that we've got running. So, yeah, like I said, Race Room's a fantastic sim to get on board with. I'd highly, highly recommend it. The racing is very close. Touring car, naturally, you end up with that bunching. And as I'll always say, as I've said time and time again, we only ever get to see one form of incident in terms of what we see in the replay. As always, like Martin Brundle says, there's many different angles from that. So, yeah, I'd always say that we see one thing, but, that's what the stewards are there for. That's their job. That's what they look at. So we can say one thing and go from there. So I can't really hear Russ. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out of this. and go press to the live. And go back to the live for the following 6 minutes, and I pressed the wrong button. I'm back to this one. So yeah, it makes it a very exciting race. It makes it very, very exciting in terms of how you drive the cars. Ballast is a big important as well, because ballast does change the weight. It changes the whole dynamic of the car. The biggest thing is the tyre degradation. So the cars that are carrying it, especially the heavier cars, such as the Lincoln Co. and the Hyundai, ballast on board those cars really affects them. I mean, they eat the tyres. And you've got certain people who are absolutely masters at managing their tyres. The guy who doesn't race in here, one guy does actually called Shaw's. I followed him for quite a long time. He's very, very clever at how he manages his tyres. I've spoken to him on other things as well. And what he tends to do is he tends to keep an eye on, he tends to keep everything, you know, nice and tidy, nice and neat. And he tends to attack in the opening section of the race, sits in that middle sector, and then when the final 5 minutes appears, he then goes on the attack. So, you know, it makes it very, very clever. It makes it very dynamic on how he manages the car. So we'll catch up with the drivers after. Apparently they couldn't hear me on the old live interviews. But as I said, we are a live show, so because we are live, there's often things that just go wrong, basically. So that makes it very, very tricky. So I think I've got everything working. But yeah, whatever. It'll figure itself out. So that's going to make it difficult as well. So if you watched our end of commentary, so Paulie's pit lane last week out, I was very, very focused on saying that I'm pretty sure this is going to be it's going to be one of the Lynx or Hyundais here that traditionally do very, very well. And so far they've proven that already. But the big one that's in the mix here, and like I said before, is you've got a couple of drivers who are actually now out of place. You know, they're down in the 15th and 16th and 17th. So they're all going to be thinking realistically, tactically about how you do that. So when we go over to this, I mean, if I was Flack, for example, I've now lost the ballast that championship ballast I was carrying for race 1 and race 2. I did a very poor qualifying, which means I'm basically carrying no ballast. I would probably get to position 14 and just stop and give myself the maximum amount of attack in race 3. If I was Shaw's, I probably wouldn't change again from 15th or 14th. I'd just sit there. Maybe pick a couple of the other guys off, you know, maybe get to 13th, go a bit faster, but I really wouldn't go out of my way to go any faster, realistically, and this is their starting positions. And that's where you've got to play the tactical advantage here, because ultimately you can have a great race 1 and a great race 3 and just kind of get okay points in race 2, and you'll actually get more points. But the problem is you're telling race drivers to go slow, and as a result, it doesn't always work so well. So that will be interesting to see how they actually play that out. And again, if you've got any thoughts on that, please put them in the chat and type them in there. I will get to them. Again, it's the new feature that we've put back in here. So again, I think historically that feature wasn't enabled. So again, it'll be quite interesting to get your viewpoints. Right, with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining, let's go back over to that main feed. Yeah, it's just going to be exciting, I think. It's going to be very interesting where they finish up and how they handle it. Because you can't just go diving into that corner, and that turn 1 is what's going to make or break a lot of people's races. And as we saw last week out, you know, we had an absolutely sensational finish. Scooby Sim, me for the win. Now, you're going to have to refresh my memory here, Scoops Sim Racing. Which driver are you? I mean, I'm pretty good at remembering a lot of things, but I'm not that good at remembering that. But yeah, if you let us know who you are, then I'll give you my predictions. Actually, I won't give you my predictions. I won't give you my predictions because whoever I predict wins will probably end up in a barrier. So we will see. But yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be very, very tricky. Right, let's just put this onto auto direct. There's a lot of drivers out who are actually practicing. We're down to 2. It's Perkis. Jeff Perkis. Fantastic race. If you didn't catch us last week out, Perkis had a fantastic 3 races when we were at the track. I've now completely forgotten. And that was only last week. Someone's going to refresh my memory. Racing a lot with Russ Butcher there in races 2. I think it was races 1, 2, and 3. A lot was stuck to glue. So I definitely check that out. Yeah, definitely. So good luck. Absolutely good luck, because Perkis he's on row. He's basically starting second, and he's on the inside line. He's on the inside line as well. So Perkis has that opportunity there to take an absolutely sensational pole position as we go through, basically. So yeah, that's going to be interesting, actually. Be interested to see how you get through that, Perkis, to be honest, because it's going to make it or break it, to be honest. So, also known as sandbagging, and then Sean Robinson's coming on, also known as sandbagging, makes sense to maximum points. Well, you call it sandbagging, but you know it's a long race. It's you don't win championships by going fast all the time. I know Sean very well. We actually race remote control cars together, little remote control cars. So, yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how it goes. And that's the key. They're going to have to think, because that's the problem that they've got, is to win championships. Being first is not necessarily where you want to be, because, and again, I go back to Shaw's just because, again, that's where I've got a lot of my knowledge. He won a championship by not actually winning. I think he won like 2 races, and that was it. So he won an entire championship by winning 2 races. So yeah, this is where you've got to be careful. But if you're in the CA2 and CA3 categories, definitely go for it. And even if you're in the CA1, I'd go for it, because again, you're going for a race victory. You're going for that ability to be the first one across the line. And at the moment, your Perkis' highest finishing position is second, and that was in week 2. Assen is where it was. We were, 14th, 8th, and 6th. So you get actually, it's getting better. If you look at the data, it's getting better. So yeah, go for it. But just be careful. You're going to have to brake later into turn 1. That's what you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to be careful because you do not want to get hung out to dry coming out of turn 2. And if you're on the outside of turn 2, that then puts you on the inside to the outside. So yeah, it's going to be tricky. It's just going to be very, very tricky. All the drivers are going to be, it's going to be very, very tricky. So here we go. Everyone's getting ready. Everybody here is going to be absolutely extracting the maximum from the cars. Watch the lights as they go out, as they go all launch themselves. And it's away we go as they all now stream down into this opening corner. And you can see here, there in the 55, he's doing all he can. Up there, what can he do from this section? Can he deliver it? Can Ian Deeney do everything? He's got his old buddy next to him. They're 3 wide. Butcher's got into turn 1. Do they all get through? Hard on the brakes. Have they managed to do it? No, they haven't. There is Schneider. Schneider is off. Schneider is in the bin. He's taken himself a one-way ticket to Drinksville. Has he done it? No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. Brilliant stuff. Fantastic. They are all absolutely nose to tail. Rostance has got Dory. Rostance is in 4th. Behind him is Jamie Dory. Then you've got Vlad's into 7th. Neil's up to 8th now. So they are making hay like the wind. The question is, can they make any more progress from this section? This is going to be the key. This is what's going to make or break their entire race. Can they get round? There's Ian Deeney. He's in the 69. He's currently into 10th. Cloughy's ahead of him. He's in 9th. Don't forget, Horn is side by side there with Rostance. Rostance, he's in the number 5. DHL Audi is the 17th, but he's in 5th. There he is. They all fly through the corner. Can they hold themselves? Yes, they can. Brilliant stuff. Magnetic. What can they do from here? Perkis is currently half a second behind the current leader, Benny Norton. Benny just needs to make like the hay and get out of here. There's Dory. Right behind him, you've got Rostance. There's Rostance. And look at the field. Nose to tail. All absolutely pinned together like glue. Here's Vlad, and look who's right behind him. Stu Neal, race 1 winner. He converted it this time. He's got to get this done fast, but he's got Cloughy, his teammate, right behind him. There's Cloughy. Hyundai, but that Lincoln Co. in this early phases should get the jump on the car ahead. Can he do it? There's Rostance. He has got Horner right behind him. Right behind him. He's in 6th behind that. There's Vlad. And he has Stu Neal absolutely nose to tail right behind him. What can he do from here? They are 2 by 2 as they come down into the corner, down the gearbox. He goes. Oh, he's got it stopped. Just enough to hold on to that position. He's done it as they all go nose to tail through this section. Fantastic stuff. There's Horn. Right ahead of him is the fast-moving Rostance. What can Rostance do from here? Does he have that ability? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Stu Neal's held up. Portugal and Shaw's. Shaw's has started 15th. He's now up to 12th. This is where he's got to be tactical. There's Portugal. He's in the number 55. Seat Cupra didn't really cover him in race 1, but he's making progress in race 2. He's turned the taps. He's up to 11. Can he go up to 12? We will see. There he is. Through it is. 12 minutes to go. Fantastic. Brilliant stuff. What can he do here? Carl Smith, slow down penalty. Has he going to have that ability? There's Stephen. Don't forget Stephen's old racing mate, Alexander. I say racing mate, racing rival is on here. They are absolutely thinking about what he can do. He's got Paul Hans right behind him. Now these two, Paul Hans in that 99 and that 68 Stephen, these two, don't forget last time out at Assen, Stephen was pipped to the post by the man behind him. What can he do? Alex Everett is now on the back of Perkis. Perkis is in 2nd. Everett is in 3rd position. He shed a load of weight in that last race. So now it's up to him to convert this to a race win. Benny Norton's going to have to put the hammer down if he wants to get it done. Poddy Flag, he's in 14th. Behind him, that's Stephen. Stephen's right behind him, riding on board now with Stephen. He's so on board you can't even see it. And they're bouncing over the curves. That's Paul Hans. He's absolutely extracting all of the maximum BHP out of this car. And there you can see in the mirror, there's the 25. There's Boki. He's going for it. He's in 16th position. They're 2 by 2. What can they do? Paul is going to have to defend and attack at the same time. And right at the back, there's Alex Ward and there's Anastasios. He's joined the group. He said, hello, I'm coming from this. And the recovering Schneider is up. But Alex Everett is now past Perkis. And Perkis is now down to 3rd. And Dory is in 4th. There he is. Dory's in the 69. Riding on board with Dory now. Just ahead of him. As we compare the next car, he's 2/10, 3/10. This is the problem they're going to have. Perkis is doing a stellar job in that position, but he's not doing good enough to be able to drive away. Shaw's is on the back of Butcher. He's not on the back, he's side by side. Butcher's the number 23. He's in the Audi, the 79. That is Shaw's. Ooh, Shaw's just tucked in behind him. He said, no, I'm just going to hold on to that position. There he is, the number 79, that white Seat. Ooh, Butcher's run wide, Butcher's run wide. Has that compromised his exit speed? I think it has. I think Butcher is not going to be able to hold on to this position. Shaw's is absolutely all over that front bumper. Look at him. There's the front bumper. There's the rear bumper. Kicking up the dust. He's saying, if you're coming, you better go faster. Magnetic stuff. Scheider is now on the back of Stephen. This is the battle for 19th and 20th. There's battles all the way through the field. Ian Dearney is now on the back of Stu Neal. What happened to Stu Neal? Stu Neal's got overtaken by Cloughy. He's released him. I think that must have been team orders there because he's just released him and has absolutely pushed him. Alex Ward and Boki are fighting. Remo and Stephen 19th and 20th and 16th and 17th are fighting. So we'll keep an eye on that battle as it unfolds. But Clough is now on the back of Vlad. He's absolutely doing all he can from here. Can he deliver this? Can he do this? Oh, into the turns 1 and 2 we go. He's run wide. Cloughy's run wide, but look at the back of the man behind. He nearly got mugged by both Russ and Ian. They're absolutely all over the road. Fantastic. Are they going to have this ability? Are they going to have this ability to get further ahead in the field? Are they going to be able to do all they need to do? I don't think they can. I just don't think it's going to be an option. There's Lee's in 16th. He's now attempted to get past Rostance, who's currently in 5th position. So Rostance here is trying to do all he can. He's trying to hold on to this position, which is going to be very, very tricky for him, I think. It's going to be very, very hard. I mean, Rostance's highest position so far this season is 4th. He's in 5th, so he's not equalled that yet, but he's nearly there. So he's doing what he can, but I just don't think he's doing enough. I just don't think he's going to have that ability to hold on to it. As it currently stands, Jamie Dory is side by side. Jamie Dory side by side. Has he got past Perkis? Yes, he has. He's got the job done. So Perkis has currently got the job done, and he says, thank you very much, and the position's mine. He's taken it off now. Jamie Dory has to make the hay like the way, whatever it is. I've forgotten what it said, but you just insert saying there. With 8 minutes, 25 seconds to go. But look at Perkis. Perkis is just getting mugged now. Rostance is right behind him. Horn's right behind him. Vlad's right behind him. Anastasios. This is the battle for 18th, 19th and 20th. So Remo Schneider is right up the rear end there of Stephen. Can he do anything? Stephen is the third car, the second car in the row. He's that Lincoln Co. riding on board now. On board. He is fighting the man ahead, but defending from the man behind, and that takes a whole different set of skills, because you can't just launch the car and hope for the best. You just have to sit there and make sure. Oh, he's gone for it, Remo Schneider has tried to sail it up the inside. Oh, there's a little bit of a tap there, but he taps the brakes, it looks like, and Schneider's the big loser out of that. Schneider's overtaken opportunity, only over he should have held back. He should have held back and got himself into a position that was, he should have just held himself back, but he got overexcited. Right, Boki and Hans are at it. This is 15th and 16th. They're all kind of now holding station. We're in the middle phase of the race now, and they're going to have to think about tyre management, and that's a different set. That's a different kettle of fish, and that's the problem. Is that they're not going to be able here really to start attacking until we get to the 5-minute mark, and then those that have got tyre life back, that's when they're going to be able to attack, and they're going to have to be careful. That's what's going to be key for this second phase of the race. Sorry, middle phase of the race. So it's going to be very, very tricky where they go from here. Butcher, no one gave that message to Butcher, and he's just turned it on to 11, and he's now just trying to sell the car up the inside. He's got himself up to 11. Right, Perkis and Dory. Perkis hasn't given. Perkis is back at it. So the question now: did Perkis save tyre life in that opening second of the race? Paul Hans and Poddy Flack, they're side by side. That's 14th and 15th. Poddy just has not been going well. Paul Hans is trying to do what he can here. He is the second car, that 99 Seat Cupra. Dory is holding up Perkis, Rostance and Horn. We will keep an eye on Clough and Vlad are joining that as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as it unfolds, but we're watching the battle for 14th. In 14th position is Poddy Flack. That's who we're with now. And there goes Hans. He's gone up the inside. That Cooper is just better on the brakes. Yeah, he's thought better of it. Again, you've got to be a car's width. Essentially, you've got to be past the B pillar for that to work. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Vlad is now back on the Horner, and at the moment, the man who is basically the blocker in all of this entire queue of cars, this man here, Dory. The question is he pushing Perkis into the guys in 5th, 6th and 7th? And that's the key, because it looks like the opening lap of the race, and like I said, with 2/3 remaining and 1/3 to go, it means that we're basically, now it's all going to come down to which drivers saved their tyre life, and which ones now can extract the extra bit of life they've remained in those tyres. That's what's going to be key. And as you see here, Perkis is now starting to break himself away from Rostance. Dory, who's in 3rd, he's currently making a break for this. But look, right behind Horn, who we're now with, you've got Vlad and Clough, and they're side by side, 2 by 2. Vlad will have the inside. He's the number 12, Lincoln Co. But look who's right behind him. You've got Neil. And that's just going to be a sandwich. It's a sandwich going into this turn. Someone's going to have to hit the brakes. 3 into 1 does not go. 2 into 1 doesn't go. That's going to compromise Vlad's overtaking ability. That's just Cloughy. He's just going to basically let the car rotate, hold it in there, and he's going to let his old buddy just follow through. And the problem is, as we ride on board now, there you can see Ian Deeney, he's in the 69. He should now go up behind Stu Neal. There's 3 into this corner. This isn't going to work. There's an accident. Massive accident going into that corner. Stu Neal's going to get out of this. That was never going to work through that sector. That was never ever going to have that ability to go through there. It was always going to end one way, and it ended exactly how I thought it would end, and that's compromised Cloughy and Vlad through that sector. I cannot believe it, but he's going to have to make that like the hay, because it's 4 minutes 13 to go. They're still fighting. They're still pushing each other to get room through that section of track. The problem that Stu Neal has got, well, the problem is I'm not quite sure who was at fault for that incident, because there was about 4 of them all going through the same sector of the race, and that's the problem. Now, Stu Neal needs to play this cleverly. What he now needs to do, and there goes Vlad. Vlad's gone off. He's binned it. He sent himself off into the kitty litter. I cannot believe it. That's going to compromise him. How far does Vlad go? He's into 13th. Now he needs to be clever. Now Vlad needs to drop back to 15th and get himself on pole position and make like the win. That's what he needs to do. Stu Neal is now getting mugged by everybody. Now I'm not sure if he's got damage or he's waiting for Vlad. Where's Vlad? Oh, he's let Vlad pass. No, Neil's got damage. I think Neil must have damage. He's going back too far. He needs to gain another position. He now has to play the tactical move here. That's his only opportunity. He needs to overtake Paul Hans and then get himself onto pole position for race 3. That's what he's got to do with 3 minutes remaining. Lee is now side by side with Horn, so this is the battle for 5th and 6th. Ross Stance has just let him go. Ross Stance has let him go. Ross Stance is in that bright yellow car, so he's just let him go. Alex Ward is right. No, I think he's damaged the car. Let's ride on board. I'm pretty sure that car is very, very damaged. Let's have a look at all 4 wheels pointing in the right direction. I think he's got aero damage. But he's got to get past Paul Hans with 2 minutes and 32 seconds to go. He has to get this done. That has to be his only objective, to get onto pole position for race 2 and then race 3, and then he can maximise against 2 race victories and a 2nd place this time out. That's what he's got to do, because if he doesn't, he's going to be at the back and he'll have no opportunity, I don't think, of getting it. Shaw's has got himself to 10th, so he's got a real opportunity here. Vlad's in 12th, and Lee, he's now right at the back of Perkis. So Perkis, riding on board with him now has Lee right behind him. He's in the 69. There's the DHL of Ross Stance, getting himself some good results this time out. 1 minute 53 remaining. They will have 1 more lap to go, as Benny Norton is now 2 seconds about. So Benny Norton needs to slow down by 6 seconds to cross the line. If he can slow down by 6 seconds, he gets 1 more lap and takes the race victory. That's what he needs to do. But Perkis and Horn are side by side. Lee Horn is the number 69 at the back and the 69 on the left. On the right, at the front, that is Perkis. There he is, riding on board with Perkis. He's in 4th position right behind him. That's Lee, I think that's done. Neil is right at the back of Hans. This is it. He has to send it up the inside. He has to commit to this now and be brave and aggressive on this overtaking manoeuvre, because if he doesn't, he's going to be right at the back of the grid for race 3. And he doesn't have the aero. He just doesn't have the aero. This is it. He's got a much better speed. He needs to hook it up now into turns 1 and 2. Through here, he's keeping it nice and tidy and get a good drive out of turn. He's got himself. That's it. No, it isn't. He's Hans, who's the car in front. He went a little bit wide there. He put himself, compromised his exit speed. This man here now, keeping an eye on Benny Norton. He is leading the race, followed by Alex Everett and Jamie Dorey. Perkins is into 4th position. But this is the man we're watching. This is the man that needs to get himself past the car in front. That's his only goal. And he's got less than half a lap to do it. If he cannot do it, he will start in 16th. And Paul Hans will start in pole position for race 3. This man here needs to get this done and be a double race winner this time out at the Autodrome Most. Can he do this? He's bouncing across the curbs. This is it. Hans has gone to make a move on Boki. These two hopefully they should slow it. Boki's letting go. Oh, they're side by side. This is Neil's opportunity. He's too far back. They're still fighting. But Hans has been compromised. His speed isn't enough. There he is. Paul Hans riding from the rear camera. Lee Horn and Perkis, they're fighting. Benny Norton's currently going to cross the race when the flag goes finished. That's when he's finished. He's currently leading the race. We will keep an eye on him. So Benny Norton has won the race. I think it's over. It's over. He's not going to do it. He's not going to be able to do it from this sector. He's lost it. He's lost it. He's going to start down in 13. So Norton, there is Benny Norton. He takes the race victory for race 2. Brilliant drive from him. He got out in front. He needs to send some real big thanks to 3rd place and 4th place man, Jamie Dorey and Perkis, because Perkis held everybody up for the opening half of the race and Dorey held everybody up for the second half of the race. And Norton just drove away with it. He drove a superb race. Carl Smith didn't really cover him this time out. He's going to bring the field home in 22nd. And there it is. There it is as you'll stand. Benny Norton's first, followed by Alex Everett in 2nd position. And then after Everett, you've got Jamie Dorey, followed by Perkis. After Perkis, you then have Horn and Ross Stance, Clough, Butcher, Ian Deeney, Shaw's is in a good position here. He's in 5th. And he is faster than Portugal, Vlad, Flack, Boki and Hans. So he can do this. He can win race 3. Ward is in 16th. Neil actually ended up in 17th in the end. Stevens in 19th, Schneider's in 19th, 20th is Anastasios, George Lopez 24th, and Carl Smith. Didn't really cover Carl Smith this time out. Fantastic from the guys behind. Takes all sorts to run a league, and takes all sorts from the start to finish, from the front to the grid to the back of the grid to basically keep driving. You've got to do that. That's the thing. It takes all sorts. But this is going to be interesting. So as we go across to the feed, I'm back again. Hello, everybody. Race 3 is going to be interesting. Now, the question is, do I get kicked out of the server, or does it carry me over? This is what's going to be... no, I got kicked out of it. This happens every so often. It's still running the race 1, apparently. So we'll just give it a refresh. We just wait for it to go to the warm-up, and then we'll see if we can log back in. Apparently, it happens quite a lot. It's just one of those things that happens. But this time, we have a bit of warm-up, and because we got warm-up, we're not panicked. But it's going to be interesting for race 3, because race 3, it'll take a minute to sort itself out, because the funny thing is that race 3 it's going to be very, very interesting in terms of where they all finish, because Stu Neal was in prime position there, because yes, he won race 1. He had a bad race 2. But he just needed to get in front of Paul Hans, but he just ran out of time, basically. And as a result, it just cost him a bit of time, basically, and that just meant that he couldn't do it. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So as you'll see, we've got the time over there. Let's have a look on here. Jeff Perkis. That's the same thing. Okay, same thing. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I mean, my money, so if I'm going to put 50p, that if many of you know that have followed my streams in the past, my 50p is completely pointless, because it usually never ever ends up well, or it never gets it right. But my 50p would be on Shaw's and Ian Deeney for 9th and 10th. Those are the two that I think are going to finish first and second, or second and first, providing they don't get into trouble. Butcher, now this is the key. So Shaw's, Ian Deeney, Butcher and Clough, they kind of all need to work together here, because they need to work together to clear Portugal, Vlad, Flack, and Boki. The problem is that Poddy, who's in 13th, that will effectively be third, because don't forget, top 15 from the finishing positions of race 2 are reversed. And, you know, I got the funny feeling he's probably going to slow the rest of the field down. So it's going to be really, really interesting. Stephen there saying, really not my evening. Yeah, you know, Stephen, yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. I mean, last time out, if you watched the racing last time out, when we were at Assen, Stephen was on fire. And go back and watch the race. It's absolutely brilliant. I think it was race 2 or race 3, and it was Paul Hans he was racing, and he got pipped to the post at the last minute. I completely forgot who won the race. It was that close. I'd highly, highly recommend it. But 50p on Poddy. So it'd be quite interesting, Stephen. I mean, if you can put in the chats here, is it the car? Is it the tyres? Just to give us a bit of insight into what's happening. I mean, that'd be good for the viewers as well, just to let us know. There's going to be many different factors. So I'm just logging in, so he's keeping the warm-up going until I can get in. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, I think. It's going to make it very dynamic on where we think they're going to finish. So we got 21 in. We're probably waiting for 1 or 2 more. Jamie Dory's out, but he's not out. He's out on the track. So we'll just put the auto direct on. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. Yeah, that's going to be... Is Shaw's even in here? I can't even see Shaw's on the board, but he might be in the game. I don't know. So yes, he is. Shaw's is in here. So yeah, but Vlad is fast as well. That's the thing. The link isn't really suited for this track. There we go. So basically, it's not a Link & Co track, which is a shame. But to be fair, Stephen, you win in the commentator's view. You win because you got the best looking car. Second best looking car is the bright yellow Audi. Not a fan of Audis, but it's a good looking car because it's yellow and you can't really miss it. And then it's anyone in a Honda. And that's how it works. So a shame, but that's how it is sometimes. That's how some of the that's how some of the racing is. You know, some tracks are suited to some cars, some tracks are suited to other cars. So the Cupra, like I said before, going back to the Cupra, without the 90% reduction, so basically it's a 10% reduction in power, that car was unstoppable, basically. There was only a couple people that could actually beat that car, but the minute you put ballast in anything, that car was the best, just because the way that it's simulated in the car has the best brakes. But somewhere like Spa, for instance, or it's just me. I was giving you some help here by saying it's the car, but it's just me. And Alex, who finished second in race 2, is currently leading the CA1 Championship. He's saying that the link stinks here, so he's just saying the link is not suited here. But then Vlad finished second. Hyundai won it. So we had a Hyundai first and a link second in race 1. Race 2 was won. Race 2, you had a link finish second, I think it was. Going back to my memory here. Come on. Yeah, then you had a link in second in race 2 and a Hyundai in race 1. So I think it's in the setup. I think a lot of it's in the setup. And again, it's in the confidence. I mean, and also some tracks just don't suit people as well. So, I mean, I'll be honest, to the guys that are on the stream here, no tracks suit me, which is why I talk and I don't do commentary. So I do commentary, but I don't race. I cannot race. I mean, I'm really good at micro machines. So if you want to battle micro machines, I'm there. But that's besides the point. Right, we're going to go back to the live feed. There's done enough for me. So if you're just joining us, that's what we are. We're now on race 3. For today. It's round 4 of most Autodrome. It's the final race of the evening, 15 minutes. My neighbours will probably be happy with that. There's all the cars we race. It is the touring car and the WTCR. This is the WTCR and the TCR cars. We do not race the WTCC cars, even though there is a Volvo S60. Which is also awesome. But they're all great cars. They're all got different characteristics and they all handle differently, which is also really, really good. So you can find your car. And that's where we are. It's the Autodrome Most. Race room cost is £4.29. And don't forget, we are on... Crest Autosport is on Discord. Please check us out. There is a live link in our YouTube channel, which if you're watching us now, send it to all your friends. It's a good fun. It's a good little bit of an evening to do. We are race 3, so the grid is based on the results of race 2, and it's the reverse in the top 15. Again, it's going to be very, very exciting. So, like I said, really, Clough, Butcher, Dearney, and Shaw's need to all work together. They all have to work together. If they work together, I would put my money on one of those to win. Now, Shaw's is the one I'd probably put my money on, but the problem... No, because he'll be on the inside into turn 1, so he should stay out a lot of the trouble. See, that's the key. You know, he's in 11th. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4. No, he isn't. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be very, very tricky. I'm your commentator for the final race. That's me, Andy Pawley. I still have a beard and I've still got no hair. We're on Crest Autosport. Check us out. Brilliant. There's GT racing as well that we also do. I think there's World Rally Championships as well. Check that out. That's also a laugh. Really, really check it out. Check out all our other stuff as well. We're on Discord and Facebook, so please come and see us. It is really, really good. Right. We're just going to wait for the cars to sort themselves out. So they're in the garage. They'll get that lap, and then we will see how it goes. We will go back to the classic view. Because on the classic view, if you're not open to how this works, classic view has helicam, so that's where we go. So all the engine lights are rising, everyone is getting ready. We're going to watch Shaw's. He is the second car. Oh, there's a jump start. There's a jump start. I think Paul Hans has had a jump start. He has. Drive through penalty. That's going to gift Poddy Flack the appointed to go into the lead, and he's done it. He's got himself into first position because of that mistake. Boki's into second. Paul Hans is down to third. Ian Deaney has got ahead. Oh, there's contact. There's absolutely a huge amount of contact. Flood has gone all the way down. Oh, there's all absolutely squabbling, sorting themselves out. Benny Norton's miles back, and who has been the major winner of that? It's Shaw's. Shaw's has been the man who's profiteered from all of that hokey-borkiness in the opening lap. But right behind that, there's Lee Horn. He's in the middle of the melee. Cloughy's just ahead of him. He's side by side with Vlad. Vlad's in 7th, Cloughy's in 6th. These two have to get gone fast if they want to make progress, because Shaw's is already in 2nd position. Butcher is in 3rd. Lee Horn is fighting. He's fighting. The man beside him, that's Vlad. Vlad's in the number 12. He is in the Lincoln Co. Right behind him is Lee Horn. He's doing all he can here, but can he do any more? I don't think he can. Oh, someone sent themselves off. It's Rostans. He's checked himself out to the pits. That's a one-way ticket over right there. Stu Neal is up to 13th. He started 17th, so he's making progress, but he won't make enough. Shaw's is into 2nd now. Poddy, Shaw's and Butcher will work together. They've raced each other in other leagues. They know how each other races, so I think there will be some inter-team cooperation between those three. Butcher and Shaw's are in the team of 1. But look at the 69s. They're all close together. You can see in the back there, Paul Hans. He was the one. He's going to have to take his drive-through penalty. Whoa, a little tap on the back of Alex Ward there. But has he get it done? Paul Hans has got another slowdown penalty. Another slowdown penalty. He needs to be careful. If he racks too many of those up, he'll be out. Bokey is now on the side of George Lopez. There's George Lopez. He's just ahead of him. He's in that white Seat. Just behind him, like I said, is Bokey, and he's doing all he can here. What can he do? George Perkis. There's contact. There's contact. This is going to be a massive accident while they're all sliding and sorting themselves out. Cannot believe it. Jamie Dory's up to 9th. Keeping an eye on that. Poddy's currently leading. They've all just had a melee in the middle there, and that's compromised them. Paul Hans is side by side. He's down in 15th. He was pole position sitter. He got a jump start, by the way, and as a result, he's had to slow down. They're all over the road. Has he damaged the car? Has he got damage? Is that the problem? Paul Hans is trying to sort himself out. Side by side, you've got Bokey, and Anastasios what's he able to do? Anastasios, he's in 15th position. He's the number 79. Rob Huff car, boom, that one. Behind him is Bokey. Ahead of him is Stu Neal. But they're all trying to. He's lost it. He's lost it. Alex Ward again has lost it. He's lost the rear end. The man. He's definitely getting style points tonight, I'll give him that, but at the moment Paul Hans is trying. They're all starting to sort themselves out, and Rostans is right behind him, so the maximum style points has gone to the 2 DHL boys of Rostans and Ward, so they're going to keep themselves occupied, I think, for the next couple of laps. Ward now just needs to get on a recovery drive. Carl Smith won't give that position up. Carl Smith's on the left side, and as there you can see the Bokey was trying to go for a move, but that's just not going to happen. Lee Horn and Ian Deaney are side by side. Shaw's is now on the back of Poddy Flag. I will keep an eye on that for the opening battle of the race, but Lee Horn is side by side. So is Dory, so is Everett. Everett's in the number 11. He's gone for the switcheroo. Lee Horn there, can he get the car stopped? Why? But he's on the outside. He's on the outside. That's just not going to work. He'll get run out, give him a nutter car width, and yeah, he's on the outside. That's just never going to work from that position. That's the problem. And Ian Deaney here, who I had pipped, he just got caught up in that middle melee, and that was the problem. And as a result, Lee now is still side by side. Has he managed to do it? No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. He's all over the grass. And Alex Everett, as we ride on board with him now, he's down in 9th position. Butcher is now on the back of Shaw's. Keep an eye on that battle. I don't think that will progress, because those two, they've raced each other, but they won't do anything silly. I say that, but Alex Everett now is side by side with Lee Horn. This is 8th and 9th. This is the battle for 8th position. It's Alfa Romeo versus Lincoln Co. Has he got on the inside? A bit of dust being kicked up there by Adini. Shaw's has got plus 0.5. Has he gone into the lead? Has he gone into the lead? Poddy's run wide. Poddy's run wide. Poddy's run wide. Butcher's going to sail it up the inside. Well, no, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. These two are squabbling all over the road, but they need to make haste like the wind, because the problem is the field is right behind them. It's just not going to work from there. Stephen has got himself, I don't know what's happened to Stephen, he's off the road. It means that Shaw's is now leading. Look at him, he's made 1.4 seconds. That's what I was saying. What I was saying before is that he's got to make haste, because if he can get through Poddy and Butcher fast, he's done. The problem is they're now squabbling with each other, and that's the problem. Poddy Flack is now squabbling with Butcher, and Cloughy is side by side, and you've got Vlad. So there are 3 different manufacturers, 2 different nationalities. Going into this turn, that's just not going to work through there, because Cloughy will have to break yeah, he's just going to have to hit the brakes. There's no way he's going to get through that sector. We're riding on board now with Russ. Behind that is Cloughy. He's in 4th position. Portugal and Dini are joining the back of the pack. Oh, that's just not going to go through there. That's just not possible through that section of the race. No, he's thought better of it. He's had a little bit of a tap there, but not too much. He's still 4 wheels pointing in the right direction. But Cloughy, who's in 4th position, behind that is 5th, 6th. That's Vlad, who came 2nd in race 1. Don't forget, bad race 2. He's trying all he can here. What can he do? Can he deliver anything? As we ride on board with Portugal, he's in 6th, not the country, the man. There he is. He is from Portugal. He's in 6th position, and he is trying what he can. He's after Vlad and after Clough. There's Clough bouncing across the curves. As we ride now from Clough, you can see Vlad on the left. That's comparison to the car ahead. We don't want that. And he's gone for it. Vlad's gone up the inside. Oh, he's got the job done. He's going to run wide. He's going to send himself to his own little gravel pit over there, which is exactly what he did. Over-aggression and over-driving the car. Vlad just needs to turn it back a little bit and sort himself out, and he'll just go faster. That's the problem Vlad has at the moment. He can sniff that top 3 finish. He's not far off it. That's the problem. There is 3rd. There's 4th, 5th and 6th. There goes Portugal. Portugal's just sailed it up the inside. He says, I'm coming through. If you want it, come get it. And he's done it. He's ticked himself out. The problem is, Vlad was pole position sitter. He's got 40 kilograms on board that little car. And there's a problem. It's really slowing him down. It's really hindering his ability to go fast. He's gone defensive. He's in the number 12 on the left. Lee Horn is the 69. Oh, there's contact! There's contact! That was always going to happen. He's gone for the escape road. He's going to have to take the shortcut, otherwise he's not going to get out there. He's going to have to slow down, and he's going to have to, I'm not quite sure that one, that's going to be I think he's going to have to return the position to Portugal. Yes, he has. He's just gone for returning the position to Portugal. Very great racing etiquette there, but I think he's also, I think the car's damaged. I think the car's damaged. He's got mugged now by Vlad and by Ian Dean. He's getting mugged by everybody. Let's have a look as we ride on board with him now. Does he have 4 wheels on his wagon? He's got 4 wheels on the wagon, and they're all pointing in the right direction. The noise sounds good, so he's okay. Cloughy's now on the back of Butcher. So Cloughy, with 7 minutes to go, is now going to attack Butcher. Butcher just needs to get some finish here. He's not going to give 3rd up easily. Butcher is in the car in front, the number 23 Audi. The car behind, that is our Hyundai. That is 4th place man. He's got on the inside. He's just going to run wide. He's just run wide. He's just sent himself, not quite, he's just out-braked himself into the corner. And that just landed one way. That was off to the kitty litter. This is the battle for 6th. So in 6th is Alex Everett. Behind that is Lee Horn. Lee Horn, at the moment, currently has Ian Deany behind him in 8th position. Perkis is now down to 10th. And Ross Stantz is in 13th. As you can see here, he's got Deany side by side. These two here, no love lost between them in the opening races at Assen, and they're giving each other enough touring car room. Shaw's is now leading by 2 seconds. He's leading the race by 2 seconds. He's now in that tyre management phase. That's where my 50p was. That's who I was saying. If he can get ahead and use a tactical advantage, he can do it. Benny Norton's retired. Where is Ross Stantz? Ross Stantz is in 13th. He's fighting Anastasios. Anastasios, I did get it right. He's in 12th position. Shaw's is going to have to be careful. If he gets too many of those slowdown penalties, he's going to have a one-way ticket to the pits. So he needs to be careful he doesn't get any. Jamie Dory is on the back of Gabriel Lopez. That is 16th and 17th. Keeping an eye on that battle as it unfolds. But again, we are now in the closing phases of this race, the last 1/3 to go. And this is where those cars that have managed their tyres the best can then start to make the attack. At the moment, Shaw's is leading. As we flip to the battle for Stu Neal is on the back of Jeff Perkis. I say he's on the back of Jeff Perkis. He's side by side by Jeff Perkis. Jeff Perkis is in the Alfa Romeo. Right behind that is the Hyundai. That's Stu Neal. They come down now. Can they do anything here? Through the left-hander they go. Oh, right-hander. It wasn't left. It was right-hander. Jeff Perkis went left, but I thought he was going right. Fantastic. Magnetic stuff. What can he do here? I don't think he can. Again, I think it's the tyres. Whereas we get to the closing phases now of this race, it's all about tyre management. Right. Carl and Stephen and Lonsdale. So this is the battle for 18th and 19th position. I am keeping an eye on the battle for 5th and 6th and see how that unfolds. And 16th and 17th. We'll keep an eye on that as it happens. Oh, he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake. I cannot believe it. That's his race. It's over. It's gone. He's going to be livid in there. He's retired. Jamie Dory's on the back, but Jamie... Yeah, they are side by side. He's trying to do it. He's side by side. Keeping an eye on this. Can he do anything? Jamie Dory's in the left. He's in the Alfa Romeo. Right besides that is Gabriel Lopez, who is leading the CA1 category. Lee Horn and Ian Deeney are side by side into turn one. You're just not going to get it done there. You're not going to get it done. You've got to set him up, coming out of that penultimate corner into the final corner, and then go from there. The attack, he's got to slow down penalty because of it. They've got to think cleverer. Got to be cleverer going through that section. You've got to set them up. Shaw's is currently leading the race by 2.3 seconds, but it's 4 minutes to go. Can Alex Ward get past Rostance? I don't know if these two people are teammates. They should be if they're not, because they're both in bright yellow Audis, and they look fantastic. Couldn't miss those. Brilliant stuff. What they can do from here, I'm not sure. They either need to work together or they need to start really getting a move on. With 3 minutes and 56 to go, I'm not sure what they can do here. They need to work together really to get 12th place man Anastasios. If not, then I don't think there's a lot they can do from here. But really, they need to stop fighting each other and then really start making progress. Ian Deeney has started to get a little bit further ahead at the top of the field. He's down in 7th, so Portugal, who made those early advances, is now kind of slowing down, and as you can see, Ian Deeney and Lee Horn are locked together coming into this left-right hander. But yeah, it's just the penultimate corner. It's the right-hander followed by the right-hander, so it's going to be very tricky. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. And the problem is, Portugal, who we're riding on board with, is now at 6, is basically gifted the front 5. The positions they've got, failing anybody diving it up the inside, doing anything silly. I just don't think they're going to have that ability. As you can see, whoa, Vlad had to hit the anchors there. He's the car at the end of the screen. He managed to get that sorted, but just enough to hold on to the position. See, that's what made it very, very tricky, is whether or not they can have that ability to extract the maximum from the cars. And that's where they're going to have to be careful now, whether or not they're going to have that real ability to do that, basically. So they're going to have to be careful. It's the last 2 minutes really, and now it's all going to be about tyre management. Ian Deeney there, he's trying to get past Portugal. Has he done it? They're side by side. This is the battle for 5th position, 6th position, and the man on the left side, that is Portugal. He's got past him as he held on to it. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. Portugal's lost that position. He's gone from 6th down to 5th. And he's got Lee Horn right behind him, and he's got Vlad there as well. Lee's got up the inside. He sold him the dummy, but he'll be on the outside into the next corner. Can he hold it? Can he make him wide? Can he run it wide? No, he can't. Yes, he can. Oh, that was going to run. Always going to end one way, and that's cost him, and that's going to allow Vlad to get past. But Cloughy and Butcher are fighting each other, so this is the battle for 3rd. Boy, they both run wide. They both run wide. I cannot believe it. One was avoiding another one, and they both ended up in the drink. And Alex Everett has just checked himself out. He's rubbing his hands. He's like Moses. He saw them part the waters and just went straight through it. Cannot believe it. Race 3 is always full of action-packed excitement, and once again, that has been proven. And Cloughy's recovering, and he's all the way down in 10th position now. Cloughy's in 9th, basically, and he's joined his teammate. Anastasios has Rostance and Ward behind him, but Shaw's is going to take a opening race victory. Oh, he's run wide. Anastasios has run wide. He's in that number 79 Rob Huff car, and as you can see, riding on board with him now. Can he do anything? Can he get anything from here? Can Rostance? Can he overtake the man in front? Can he get himself into a top 12 finish in the last sections of this race? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. He's going to have to really, really think about this, bumping over the curve into effectively what is the hairpin of this track before we go into the final closes, 2/3 of the lap. They're nose to tail. Shaw's is currently leading. Like I said, he's winning the race. Shaw's is winning, and Podifak is 2nd. Everett will finish 3rd because he's going to be gifted that position from Butcher and Clough, as they're all over and bouncing across the curbs. Which one of those ended up? Which one of the 2 DHL Audis is going to be the one that's going to give the position? He's giving it up. Is that the old switcheroo? That's got to be team orders. That has to be team orders between Ward and Rostance. Maybe someone can bring that up after, but it definitely looks like it was a team orders in the back. There's Vlad. Vlad is currently in 5th position. He's got 2 corners left. He's got 1 corner left. Can he hold on to the position? Shaw's is our race winner. Shaw's has taken the race victory. I think that's over. You're never going to beat that. That's never going to lose that position. No, it isn't. But there is Shaw's. He is your race 3 winner. His opening race, his opening participation in the Crest Autosport WTCC League, and he takes himself into a winning position in the opening race. But again, like I said, that's where my 50p was from start to finish. My 50p was always on Shaw's. As we watch Carl Smith bring the field home, that's where my 50p was, because if Stu Neal had held on to 15th position, my 50p would be on Stu Neal for the double. Would have been on to Stu Neal for the double. And there is only one other driver this season who has done the double in the same race event, and that would be Alex Ward. Not Alex Ward, that would be Alex Everett. But everybody else, no, they're all one-time winners so far. So, yeah, it's very, very tricky. So, absolutely sensational. So, there's confirmation. Shaw's is your race winner. Absolutely cracking for him. And look, again, a fastest lap was not on the pole. Guy who won it. Poddy was second. Everett, Deeney, Vlad, Portugal, Horner, Butcher and Clough. Yeah, Everett must be rubbing his hands when those two went off. Neil in 10th. Good recovery from him. Perkis started second, finished 11th. Then you've got Antonios, Alex Ward, Ross Stantz, Boki, Dory, and then you've got Stephen. And as you see, Stephen was on chat. It's like, yeah, I don't really like this track. So, yeah, it's very tricky. It's very, very tricky, I think. No doubt, as I always say, before I go across to the com box, there's nobody in the com box, but as I always say, we only ever see one race view on this. We only ever see one camera angle. We only ever see one type of instance. So, as always, there is multiple views that we can have from another driver. So again, like I said, it's very, very tricky when we look at events. Now, I think the big one in there, and obviously if Alex Ward comes, if anyone comes on stream, he's actually on stream. So we're gonna go across now and see if he can actually hear me, and then we will see if it works. As always, we are live, and that always means that we have issues. But we're going to go across to the interviews. Not that one, because that's completely the wrong number. Alex, can you hear me?
A-firm, yes.
Fantastic. So Alex can hear me, which is really, really good. Sorry, I've got the longest wire known to man. So there we go. Right. So just checking the chats out on here. A lot of stuff going on there, which is really brilliant. Right. The first thing I want to talk about is race 3. And obviously you were sat there in in 5th, in a comfortable 5th. Not really making any progress. Shaw's checked himself out at the front, which is what I predicted. Because with the drivers ahead, if he could get through quite quickly, he could get basically ahead of everybody and get going, which is what happened. And then you must have been rubbing your hands when you saw, obviously, Butcher and Cloughy went off. And again, we only see what was on stream. So, you know, it's almost like Cloughy outbraked himself. Russ tried to avoid him, and they both went off into the litter. And then you just went, oh, thanks very much, waved at them, and just drove past. I mean, you must have been ecstatic, because that's a podium position.
For me, no, sorry. 2 seconds. Let me just sort out my mic there. Right, there we go. Better. Big points tonight as a result of that little bit of luck, but you need a bit of luck at times in racing.
Yes.
I'd personally call 14th to 5th good progress. 14th to 3rd, even better progress. So yeah, I will take that all day long. Because my pace was terrible tonight. I don't know if it's the car or me, or I'll blame the track as well. But tonight was just not my best night, but the results just came to me because I didn't really expect much out of it, and it just took it easy, to be honest.
I mean, if we cast our minds back to what we were talking about last week about the cars that the cars I'd expect to be fast, and obviously we had a Hyundai win race 1, we had a Hyundai win race 2, a Link finished 2nd both times because it was Vlad and yourself.
Yep.
And obviously Shaw's was the big one. It was the mix in there. Shaw's was the big mix in there because Like I said, where he was positioned after the incident in race 2, he was in prime position there. And I could see that happening. But that link, again, is... I know you said that before, the setup isn't very good for this track and it stinks in terms of getting around there. But you seem to be able to, get a good, reasonable pace out of that car. I mean, did the tyres affect you in any way? I mean, you were carrying maximum ballast in race 1. Or was it, again, did you just... one of those things you go, I'm not going to get a good result, so I may as well just get my head down and just pick people off as I see them.
It's a strange car. Last season I was in the Hyundai, and you're just able to throw that around a little bit more, and it's got the upper hand in straight line speed. There's no, let's make no secret about it. But the Link is the most stable car in the field, and I quite like that. I quite like a car that is more prone to understeer than, well, not necessarily more prone to understeer, but it will oversteer less. That means the back end is stepping out less. That's what I like in a car. So as long as I've got that feeling in the car, I can extract quite a bit out of it. But at the same time, when you stable a car up, you do lose a lot of optimal top end speed. And I think I was having a little bit of that issue tonight. So I think after tonight, back to the drawing board. But yeah, to be honest, because the car was so stable, it was reliable at the same time tonight. So it did benefit in the end.
Because obviously, when you say back to the drawing board, is that back to your base setup in the car, and then tweaking it again when we revisit this track in the future?
Yeah, if we come back here in the future, which I might consider, because it was an interesting night. I definitely preferred tonight as a track to last week, but yeah, I think if I came here again another season, well, in any car, I'd definitely look back on tonight and think, right, okay, what went wrong last time? What should we do different next time? But to be honest, the setup I use week in, week out worked fine at Donington, worked fine at Oschersleben, worked okay at Assen, I suppose. So yeah, I guess at Interlagos, I'll start with my setup and we'll work on it from there. I've never actually driven Interlagos in a touring car, so yeah.
You need speed. You need lots of speed.
Because
when you come off that final corner, you're basically flat all the way to turn 1. Then you dips into turn 1. Then it goes 2 and 3, and 3 is basically on power all the way again to another major overtaking zone. So it's one of those tracks where there's always compromise. You've either got to be mighty in the middle sector, and gain time to lose in sectors 3 and 1. But the problem is you can just get mugged, because in touring car, you let your door open and about 5 other people are going to come through, and then you'll never keep that momentum. But just going back to tonight in terms of the track itself, you were saying it's that interesting track. It's a very flowing track. Would I be right in saying that you're busy in the car? Because it's left, right, left, right, left, right, and a lot of the corners are I mean, you look at turn 1. It's 90 right, 90 left, and then you go right and left again, and then right and left, then a hairpin, down a hill, right and left. There's loads of... It's very busy. Yeah,
it's a very busy track. You've described it exactly how I would have. Left, right, left, right, left, right, down a hill, up a hill, narrow corner, long sweeping corner. It's got everything this track has. It is a flowing track. It's a driver's track. Quite enjoyable when in a time trial or practice situation. Gets very difficult in a race situation because there's not much opportunity to overtake apart from turn 1. I think turn 20, which we saw Clough and Butcher come to blows in, but we'll talk about that another day. And there's the corner that goes under the Orland Bridge. I can't remember what number it is, but they're the only real overtaking opportunities on this track. So you've got to be switched on here, and you've got to take your opportunities, which a lot of people were doing tonight. There was quite a lot of rather impressive overtakes from my point of view. There was a couple of bad ones, but there was mostly good ones.
But again, I think with this type of track is that it again, because it's a left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It invites you, I think, would be the way of doing it. Is that no matter what touring car in what league I've ever watched race round here, it invites you to go for it. So if the door is open, everyone just goes, "Oh, I'll have a go." And it's very tricky, I think, and it's very tricky to judge it because a lot of the corners, as they tighten up as you come out of them, is the way I would I think I would describe it. I could be wrong from your side, but you turn left and then, or if you turn left and then the right, the next corner immediately after tightens. And it almost as if they've designed it that way, so they invite you, which means that you either have to get out the way or you have an accident. There isn't a middle ground. And it's not like you can run off into the distance because it's just kitty litter.
No, quite right.
But I mean, it makes it exciting. It makes it contact. I'll be honest, but we are driving touring cars. So.
Yeah, you can't expect anything other than that in touring cars. To be honest, if you're coming into a touring car league and you're going to have a little bit of a moan about side-to-side contact, you're racing the wrong cars, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's inevitable in this type of racing, isn't it?
I mean, there's always that fine line. There's always a fine
Yes.
line, and I will say that there's always a fine line between a blatant attack against just mistakes, because it happens. But I mean, in terms of the qualifying, again, you were carrying the 40 kilograms on board as well in terms of the qualifying there. So. I mean, how does that affect it? Do you change your setup between races, or do you just keep the same one? Because, take us through that, because obviously it's open qualifying. You're carrying 40 kilograms on board the car. You're going to slightly have a different setup than when you know that during, realistically, you're not going to qualify higher than, I don't know, fourth, really, maybe third. And then you could have a bad race, or you'd finish fourth, and then you lose a load of weight.
Yeah, I half alluded to it last week. It's much easier to have weight and then move on to no weight than it is to be on no weight and move on to weight. Because I've spent the best part of 2 or 3 hours today, and maybe an hour the other day, fine-tuning the car and getting used to the track. There's actually only a few little things I do, like you can change suspension settings, camber, engine braking reduction is actually quite useful in this car. But because I've got 40 kilos of ballast on the car and I practice with it, it is easier to set up the car. But when you get lumbered with weights, like some drivers do, halfway through a race, you can't adapt your setup to it. It requires time, and that's the challenge of this series. Is pole position for certain drivers without weight, great, but in race 2 and 3, they're nowhere really.
So it's almost better then, as a top tip would be to set your car to when, if you practice, is to put, if you're not carrying ballast, is to put as much fuel as humanly possible in it, or what would equate to 40 kilograms worth of fuel, and then go out and do testing with that amount of fuel, so that you can devise a setup. I'm not saying that you should do that. I'm just opening that up there. So, but I mean, Interlagos, obviously, looking forward now to next week in terms of the tracks there and Interlagos. Obviously, alluding to you've never raced there, which is going to be exciting, I think. So, I mean, that's the key. I mean, would you again not race there, but obviously, it's going to be the final corner. Well, it's not the final corner. It's the one before the final corner. Because that little kink, I'm not sure where the pits is. I'd need to check on a map, and someone will probably correct me somewhere. Is that final corner? I'm not quite sure if it's classed as a corner, but the one before it, where Hamilton overtook the Toyota. I can't remember who was driving to win the championship against Massa.
It's that Glock, yeah.
Yeah, Timo Glock. That was it.
Is that Glock?
But a good drive off that will get you a good run all the way to turn 1. But you overcook it at turn 1, you're in a wall. There's nothing there. So I presume you're going to have to find a balance between, again, a lower downforce setup to get more go, and that middle section of that balance. So it's going to be tricky, I think. It's going to be tricky for a lot of the drivers.
Yeah, well, having weight is heading into a track like Interlagos, and we've got Indianapolis coming up as well. Heading into those tracks with all this weight is worrying me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, but the thing I've discovered with this car is actually, I don't know if it's anything to do with the aerodynamics. I don't know if race room's that intelligent, but when it's in draft, it's rapid. I overtook so many drivers tonight because it's so effective in the draft. I don't know if it's my setup in hindsight, but I've got that in my favor with the link. I know that much. So qualifying's gonna be tricky. Race one's gonna be tricky. It's because drivers without weight, they're
Yes.
gonna be rapid at Interlagos. I just know that. But we'll see what race 2 and 3 brings, because similar scenario tonight. The weight really affected me tonight, but in race 2 and 3, when it was lifted, it just unlocked the car.
So it's actually more about being tactical. I think I alluded it to, if you go back on stream, or if you've been following the stream, I think it's between races 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, and Sean on here is like, it's known as sandbagging. It's like, well, it is and it isn't, because it's known as tactical, because ultimately it's another factor of driving this race series, is that to win it, you've also got to think tactically about where you want to, how you can maximise your points with the conditions that you're currently racing at. And I'm not saying that people should go out and do that, because, as I said on commentary, telling people who are driving, even in the sim racing world, that you might want to finish, 10th because you'll get a tactical advantage. They go, nah, because I can finish first, so I'm going for first.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. But it's a good element. I think it adds a very tactical element, especially if you're racing with your teammates. Because, you've got to really think only one of you can win the championship.
Yeah.
So one of you has to come second, or so one of you is going to have to be the second driver. So, I mean, does that ever come into your mind over this season so far, or is it a case of you just like, nah, I'll just go out and drive as fast as I can and see what happens?
I've done this series enough to know that finishing 10th and purposely inheriting a pole position for the next race, vice versa with 15th in race 3, does not win you championships. It does benefit some drivers in certain scenarios where if they're picking up a top 3 placing lower down in the table, that's going to hugely benefit them. But then again, I don't really know any driver who purposely sandbags to get a reverse grid. I think it will come at a situation in the race where 2 laps to go, where a driver will decide, I'll sit in 9th, I'll take a second for the next race. I'll be surprised if anyone actually purposely does that. It's got me actually thinking. Does anyone do that?
See, that's the thing, and that's what makes it. That's what from my perspective, makes it exciting, because some people go, oh, it does this, it does that, it happens. Well, no, it doesn't. It's another tool in the toolbox, and it's one of those things where, if you're closely battling it, you could figure out the numbers and go, maybe this is a good idea. But again, but like I said before, or as I said on stream earlier, telling a racing driver, in the real world or a sim world, to go slower just doesn't compute. It's to go slower. No, it'll never happen. I think it becomes more prevalent if there was, if there was, say, I don't know, final events, and there was, say, 5 points separating like 3 drivers. Then you've got teammates that are going to come into play. You're going to get a lot of factors. And for something that I want to clarify from last week at Aston, is that we saw a swap between Clough and Poddy, and Poddy was let him go, and that was a tactical switch. He confirmed it later. And he said I was happy to say it. So I don't know. I think it makes it exciting.
Well, to be fair to them, Rodrigo Portugal, bless him, let me buy tonight in race 3. So it does happen. It's got to happen.
But then again, I think that's wise, because if he ended up fighting you, he'd lose more positions. Because when you think about it, when you're on that, you're thinking about tactically. You're going, realistically, if I was racing, I wouldn't be fighting the CA1 category or the CA2s, because I'd be in CA3. So for me, my battle is CA3s. So if I let all of you guys through, I'd be like, right, just go as quickly as you can so I can get on with my own race. But you know what I mean? I think it makes it exciting. I think it makes it really exciting, because you've actually got a real world tactical element in there. Not just go as fast as you can and see what happens. But that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah,
somebody
absolutely.
somebody will probably watch this later and then just completely have a go at me about that. So I do apologise. They're just my thoughts. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us for tonight for the chat. It's, second time, always welcomed. Yeah, and good luck next week. Good luck with your setup changes for Interlagos. Yeah, and just good luck in general.
Yeah, thanks very much,
All
Andrew.
right.
Thank you for streaming it
Cheers.
again. Great stuff. Bye.
So yeah, absolutely sensational, absolutely sensational. Back to me again, but like I said, it's what makes the racing so exciting. It's the extra dynamic that you find at Crest Autosport, is that you've got to manage a bunch of different factors here, and we'll see this develop over the rest of the race calendar. So next week we are it is the Interlagos, so we're actually now halfway through the season. That's going to be exciting. Then we go across to Interlagos, and then we are at Montego, and then we finish at Paul Villa, which is a track Paulville I have never raced at. I have no idea about. That is going to be magnetic. It's a classic. It's a new street circuit, apparently, according to this, which means street circuits are high reward, high risk. One mistake and the car's gone. It's damaged, and that's the end of it. So, as always, as I always say, thank you very much for joining me. I will be back same time, same place next week. If, as I always say, there is multitude of different angles that we don't get to see. Hopefully we'll be able to see some of those in the future, if we can figure out the software. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekends. And don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I will be here, not share the singer, share as in share. I will be here for the rest of the season. And yeah, thank you and good night.